Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. You're welcome to this week's Forex Outlook with Great White FX for the 6th to 10th of May 2024. So, without wasting so much of your time, this week's Forex Outlook is being sponsored by Trading Pro, prolific, proficient, professional to trade together as one. So, as always, we're going to start off with the economic calendar. Looking at the economic calendar, Monday seems calm. Tuesday has high impact news on the Aussie dollar, that's rate news. Wednesday, very calm, no major news. Then Thursday, we have lots of high impact news, rate news on the British pound, unemployment claims on the US dollar, 30-year bond auction. Then Friday, we have also high impact news on British pound, that's GDP, Canadian employment claims, and the US by 3:30 prelim, UOM consumer sentiment. So Monday, Wednesday, it's going to be very calm, but Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, it's going to be very interesting. So let's get down to our pairs. So as always, we're going to start off with the US 100, the dollar index, the Euro USD, British pound USD, gold, Euro pound, pound yen, and Euro yen. So let's start off with the US 100. Looking at the US 100 of the weekly, possibility exists that we might still see higher prices on this pair. With possibility exists that we might see higher prices on this pair. Looking at it on the daily time frame, we have a break above this high. So going into this new week, my view is we might see a bit of a retracement, probably to fill in this fair value gap, but price might be coming into this high to this low. So let me just note it out now that this range high has a 4-hour buy side liquidity, and we also have this high. So these are areas where most likely price might be coming into before moving back to the downside. So most likely any retracement, we'll be watching this structure point here and this 4-hour fair value gap, because this fair value gap was instrumental. This was the last imbalance before they broke these equal highs. As you can see, there's a close above. So we might see a bit of a retracement before a continuation into this zone, and then price might move on. Because if you look at this on the 4-hour, this is an impulse and this is a corrective move. So that's it for the US 100. The next one we're going to be looking at is the dollar index. Looking at the dollar index, let's start off from the weekly. If we look at this, this has kind of like a bearish formation on the weekly, but it's coming into this other blockade. That's on the weekly. So on the weekly, it still seems slightly bullish, but it's reacting from this point here. As you can see, there's equal highs here. What looks like equal highs here. There's what looks like equal highs here. If we go down now to the daily time frame, we have a long lower week close on Friday into this structure point here. If we drop down to the 4-hour, this is where it gets very interesting. Now looking at this on the 4-hour, this other block has been removed by price. So I'm of the opinion that we might see a bit of a move. Depends on what price does on Monday. We have what looks like an other block here. So if price rallies in here and gets rejected, we might see price move lower. But if price decides to drop first, we might see a move down into this zone here, deeper, before price continues to the upside. So basically, this is what you'll be waiting for on price. You'll be waiting to see something like this before you take a long position on the dollar index. For now, it's not present. So two options: either price removes this bearish order block, so if you see something like this, then you now start looking for long. But if price comes into this area and gets rejected, it might move long. So we might see a bit of a down move before a continuation to the upside. Looking at this on the 4-hour, this is still like an impulse and this is a retracement. But my view is that the retracement might still move lower before moving back to the upside. So the next one we're going to be looking at is EURUSD. Looking at the EURUSD from the weekly, but we notice the weekly still closed as a kind of engulfing and it closed above the previous week's high. Looking at this from the weekly, it's still in a down move. We have a break below here. So this is like an impulse down and this is still a correction on the weekly. If we go down to the daily, it's still the same thing. Impulse and this is still a retracement on the daily. If we go down now to the 4-hour time frame, we have a break above this high. It depends on what price does, because if we look at this on the weekly, on the daily, price reacted from the consequent encroachment of the weekly daily order fair value gap. As between this point to this point, you can see the rejection was from the 50 consequent encroachment. So going into this new week, the possibility is that price may still try to run higher before moving lower. But for now, we don't have a, what we have now, we have this. So this still seems bullish. So what I'll be waiting for this week is something like this, maybe a rally, then something like this for a continuation to the downside. But for now, the possibility exists. If you look at this, we have a bullish fair value gap here. That's between this point on the 4-hour time frame. We have here. So if this holds, there's a possibility we might see price try to sweep this high, maybe deeper into this before moving back to the downside. But the 4-hour is still tilting slightly. We might still see more upside as we do not have a broken low yet. Instead, we have this other block removed. So it might still move higher before moving back to the downside. Next, we are going to be looking at is British pound GBPUSD. So we're going to start off with it on the weekly. If you notice also, it still closed above the previous week's high. If you look at it, price closed above the previous week high, although it had a big upper week. And if you go to the daily, it also reacted from slightly above the consequent encroachment of the daily fair value gap. So looking at this pair going into this new week, let's look at the possibility is that this might still move higher before moving back. The possibility is that this might still move higher before moving back to the downside. So we'll be waiting for something like this, probably a swing high, a break of structure to the downside, retracement, and a move lower on price. So before we move over to the next pair, I'd like to introduce our sponsors today. Our sponsors today is Trading Pro, an online trading broker. They've been around for 7 years, prolific, proficient, and professional. They offer a lot of interesting account opportunities. They offer swap-free accounts, very good for those who trade gold. And they also offer cent accounts for those who might not want to fund heavy, for those who are starting off. So you test the waters gradually without exposing yourself so much. They also offer trainings. We'll be offering they are starting a 4-week intensive training for beginners who are residents in Lagos, Nigeria. So to find out, you can reach out to me for further details and I'll be glad to answer that. We also offer a community for slightly traders who are both beginners and advanced traders, where we have the weekly review, where we have daily reviews for London and the New York trading session, and we also offer trade ideas and trade reviews. So this is being made possible by Trading Pro, whereby I also offer reviews for New York session. So it will be an interesting opportunity for you to sign up. To sign up, the link is down in my bio, that's below this video. If you move down a little bit, let me pull this up. If you move down here, this is the link, N and Learn. By clicking on this, it will take you to where you can sign up. So let's get back down to our pairs. So okay, the next pair we're going to be looking at is gold. So looking at gold, we're going to start off from the weekly perspective. So looking at gold, the possibility exists that we might be seeing lower prices on this pair. We have the second bearish candle going into the new second weekly bearish candle, and we still have this weekly fair value gap that has not yet been filled by price. So we go down to the daily. We look down to the daily. It seems price might be consolidating a bit at this area. If we go to the 4-hour time frame, the 4-hour time frame is a little bit neutral. Although we still have this high in play, the inability of this high here at 23.28 to make a new low points to the fact that price may sweep this high before moving back to the downside. So by Monday, Monday's trading will give a better idea of what price intends to do. As we can see, we have wicks to the upside, wicks to the downside. That's high level of indecision, but be it as it may, this pair is still tilted to the downside, but might move up before moving back to the downside. The next pair we're going to be looking at is Euro Yen. This pair is very important because it gives you an idea of the overall strength of the euro against the British pound, which will give you an idea of which pairs to trade and which pairs to avoid. Because basically, in the forex market, you're trading strength against weakness. So looking at this pair on the weekly, it's more like in a downside to a range. If we move over to the daily, we have the break above here, a deep retracement, and price might be continuing back to the upside. Let's not forget that we have high impact news for the British pound coming in on Thursday. So that might be responsible for this moving to the back up, because if you look at this on the monthly time frame, it has a long upper wick. So this might just be a retracement to continue back to the downside. So if we look at this now on the 4-hour time frame, the possibility exists that this may move in here due to where price is at the moment, retrace a bit, and then continue back to the upside, because on the 4-hour this is still slightly bullish. But so what we'll be waiting for is something like this. If price dips in here, finds support, moves above, then we might see a move before something back to the downside. So for now, we still have euro strength. Next, what we're going to be looking at is the British pound yen. So looking at this, it seems this pair's very strong bullish run might be coming to a pause for the time being. If we look at the weekly, price got the target I gave last week, 198.38. You could go back and watch it. Price swept above and closed back down. So the weekly, on the candle formation, we have a bearish formation because this candle completely engulfed this candle. Liquidity to the upside has been swept. So on the weekly, possibility exists that this might move lower. We'll move down to the daily. You can already see this high did not close below this low convincingly. So the possibility exists that any of these fair value gap might be a draw on price before price sweeps down to gone, because you can see we have equal lows at 190.38. So we might see something like this, a move up to fill any of this imbalance, then a move back to the downside on price. So for the pound yen, it's still bearish. You'll be looking to sell into rallies. The last but not the least is the euro yen. Still the same thing, just a few pips shy of our 173.19 level. So on this pair, we are bearish. So the same formation we have on the euro and British pound yen, any rally into this will offer an opportunity for a continuation to the downside to probably sweep 162.31. So that does it. So thank you all for taking your time to attend, and I wish everybody a blessed and wonderful trading week ahead. Thank you.